Good morning. Good morning. We are on the Ascension Show. This is our Ascension Show. Welcome, welcome. We wanted to talk about upgrades, God codes. Today we're actually going to talk about new upgrades that we've had because of all the system, because of the spiral of ascension and the shifts that we've been going through. They bring us up to new codes, and they give us the potential that once we've been doing, why alchemy is so important. When you're clearing and cleansing the stuff that's in your field, exactly the gunk and the junk that's in your field, and refining your beliefs and becoming more refined in your purity of truth. When you become more refined and clear, it gives spirit and your teams and your guides to activate those God codes that are in your DNA. And so the more refined you are, the more in truth that you live, you're having that opportunity with Spirit, and Spirit has that opportunity with you to give you those codes and have those downloads come to the forefront for you to start working with and playing with in every day. And again, remember that you have the activation of those codes, because activation is an action word, activation. It must take God's spark, the quirk of God. And when you activate something, it's like the two atoms, it's like the two cells that are working together, and they have to actually be activated. There has to be a spark that activates that coming in to this now moment for you to move forward and start processing and experiencing and expressing it as. So the 3 E's are so important. And so sometimes when you have these God codes activated, like I'll just share some experiences. Yesterday, I had these beautiful experiences of people just randomly coming to talk with me in the coffee shop. And I do that because I sit there for, 4 or 5 hours, and I sit there, and there's people that will come by. And I know now that when the source sends me these people, sometimes I don't see them for a month at a time or whatever. But there's a couple of really, really beautiful souls that I've done activations with. I've done, ceremonies with, just moving them along in their path. And they're at all ages. And so this one beautiful woman was talking, just dropped in yesterday, and I haven't seen her since before Christmas. And it was so lovely to see her. And she's a First Nations goddess. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she's an elderly, and she shares all these beautiful stories with her about her sharing her wisdoms with her tribe and her family and her clan. She has quite a large family, and I'm so happy to hear that her family is taking her wisdoms, and they do ceremonies, many ceremonies that they do for different reasons. I'm very, very happy to know her. I'm so very blessed to know her and hear about these beautiful ceremonies that her and her family put on, and they make everything in these ceremonies. And she shows me the clothes they make. She shows me the banners they make. She shows me these, she's a weaver, and her peoples, their specialty was weaving in their villages, and they sold their weaving, throughout many parts of North America. And she has much of her tribe in the U.S., along with all the way up to Nunavut. And so it was very, very wonderful talking with her, and how she has everybody in the family now, even the youngest ones. They have these different ceremonies for the youngest ones, and they're all involved, and they're all, co-creating these new beginnings together. And I've told her many times, I said, what would be wonderful if, you get somebody to have this book of, this book of wisdom that you're passing down. And it's always, when we have her and I have these conversations, I wish that there was somebody with us that could have that book and mark all the things that she says down. She's such a wise woman. And because a lot of, it's a very unique language, very difficult and challenging to speak. Many people that know her in the First Nations, all across North America that know her, they go to her for, how to pronounce certain things. And so she was taught by her grandmother. And they're very, very difficult. And some of it does sound like light language. And a lot of it is like the and chikang and things like that. And it's the very challenging language to speak. But they want to start reinvigorating it again. And so they're asking her, and they're creating these beautiful things online, and they're using the language and the translations because it is a very unique language. It's not known to a lot of people. And so I'm very, very happy to be, just even in discussion with her and watch her family evolve and bring these beautiful things to the forefront. So I'm sharing this beautiful story as part of New Earth Star. Because the times that I've seen her, Father has allowed me to do various initiations with her and for her. And she's a beautiful person, a beautiful goddess, and she's transferring all of her wisdoms as the goddess that she is, as the elder that she is, so that she can continue in all of the realms that she works on, because she's working on many different realms. And so she's such a lovely lady to talk to and to connect with. But in the God codes, I was sitting there last night, And we had our little visit, and she was showing me all these pictures, and we were just sitting there, and this was just at the end of the visit. And I was sitting there, and I started to get these really strange sensations. And this is a very new for me. And I started feeling this rush of energy from the heavens come down my crown chakra, and it was like a funnel, and this funnel came down of energy, like the DNA. It was this funnel of energy that came down my chakras, and I was sitting there. I was just sitting here like this to her, and I had my hands open like this, and because her and I sometimes sit like this to just work with energy and work with spirit, and I started clearing my throat, tons and tons of throat chakra clearing, and it was the elders that were from an ancient tribe that she belonged with. And part of the story she was telling me was that her son and her grandson were working together in this project, and they were translating words and things like that they didn't know how to pronounce. And how would he write it if it was in English? How would you say that? Because again, it's like things like that. So it's a very confusing and very challenging experience, but she's all in it, right? She's just like, she's totally into it. She's such a beautiful soul. I'm very glad that Source has brought her to me. And as I said, when I'm in the coffee shop and I say to Source, and Source knows who I am, Source and your teams and your guides will be bringing and weaving these beautiful energies and beautiful souls to you. That again, if you're not in the coffee shop and all you do is sit in your living room, you're leaving yourself out from all of these beautiful community experiences. You would have never met these souls otherwise. I mean, truly, I met these people in the coffee shop. They were sitting there, and they saw me and I saw them. We had eye contact. And it was just like we've got to talk, right? There was just that energy that we've got to connect here. And so I was sitting there, and these sensations were coming through me, and I said, okay, obviously I have a channel here, and so there's beings that want to talk with you. And so I did an impromptu channel for her, which I don't normally do. My teams usually step me back a bit because they want me to enjoy the visit, because they know that the social interaction time is very important for me as well, because I shouldn't be putting 90%, 98, 99% of my time into the collective systems fixings, all my energy work. I need to have that social time too. So sometimes Spirit will give me the messages, but just stand back a bit. But this was a full-on channel, and so it was very different for me. And they were showing me that my gifts and skills were amplified. They were showing me that my God gifts and skills of channeling were amplified, because I'd never had that sensation before. This whole group of dynamic beings just came right through my crown chakra, and they came right out from my heart chakra. And she was sitting there, and she said, "I feel my heart chakra." And I said, yes, these beings are here to talk with you, and so I want to give you a channel. And so we talked about her being a channel for Source, and her being a channel for very ancient languages that want to come through and start anchoring their energy into the grids, into the newer star grids, because it's going to help a lot of the future generations that are going to be doing similar projects to the creative arts and entertainment field. They're going to start regurgitating these beautiful old ancient experiences, and the grandmothers and the grandmothers are going to start coming together and creating these beautiful books and ceremonies. And ceremonies can be of anything. Ceremonies can be of the birth of your family, beautiful things that have happened in your family, a healing of a disease, all of these things. And what the First Nations people have taught me is that they celebrate everything. They have ceremonies for everything. They have ceremonies for a story that they've understood between earth and animals. They have ceremonies for, transcending certain blocks and hurdles between land and animal and earth and air. They have all of these beautiful ceremonies that teach us about the homeostasis, that teach us about balance. And that's why the law of balance is so important. And why, when we don't interfere with life and we don't push and force ourselves on life, we allow natural order to take its place, and know that each and every one of us have a divine soul's blueprint that's perfectly designed. You can't even imagine how perfectly designed God has made it. I mean, in God, the elegance of God, it's just the elegance of God. I mean, God is so elegant. You can, the beautiful minutia and the imprints and the sounds and the harmonies and the textures. I mean, God is just so beautiful. Just understand that you have a beautiful soul blueprint. And if you just sit back and relax, your divine soul partner is going to be there, the one that will love you the deepest and the richest, the one that will give you what you need in that timeline to be your best, and for you to help them being their best. you know that God's going to always bring that forward. God will never bring anybody unless it's a lesson for you to stand in your power and say, I can do this now on my own. I don't need anybody to be my savior, if you will. We're meant to be standing in our own sovereignty. We're meant to be learning about the agency of self with the heavens and harmonizing. And what does that mean in natural order with the planet, and not pushing and forcing, overtaking, dominating, winner takes all energy, and breaking people's souls, and all of the horrible things that we have done. And the black magic and the occult energies were just we're on steroids. It was a steroidal experience on what really goes on subtly that's been so conformed, we don't even question it anymore. And when you see the abuses and the horrible things that happen when families are destroyed, they'll never be the same again. My family will never be the same again. And when I chose to have children, I poured everything into having a family. I mean, if we were having a family dinner, I would get up and clean the whole day. Start to prepare the food and make sure the kids were well dressed and the laundry was done. I mean, I wouldn't leave a task that was undone. I was always, I took every role I had very seriously. And then I started to awaken and include spirituality into all of my teachings with the children. I would talk about spirituality, talk about the heavens, and talk about the cosmos, talk about other life. I would constantly let them know that there's life beyond life. There's life beyond what we see. You're meant to be here in these beautiful, tremendously sacred journeys of your spirit exploring itself in new ways as a sovereign God, as a sovereign being of light. And it's up to us to harmonize these things at all times so that we can have new stories, new generations of new anchoring into the spiritual grids of who we are now in this moment, and releasing past energies and issues of forcibility, of domination, and such horrible abuse of energy, abuse of power over others. This whole idea and the dissolution of sovereignty of self, of agency of self, has been because of the wounds of people not healing their divine feminine masculine energies. That's all it is. And if you heal these things, you would never ever want to ever dominate somebody. Why would you ever do that? Why would anybody want to dominate somebody? Until they break. Why would anybody want to break somebody until they cry and they become a mashed up piece of mess on the floor? Why would anybody do that to anybody? Why is it fun? Somebody just said it's fun. Why is it fun to watch people suffer? You have to get checked. You have to go to a psychologist, and you have to go get checked, and you have to work out those woundings. Those are serious, serious woundings. To watch people suffer and to think it's fun, you need to go and get checked. That's not a normal thing to have going in your brain and body on a normal everyday basis. And for you to say it, just the first thing out of your mouth, there's a lot of hate and anger, and there's a lot of masochism that needs to be fixed. Those are hardwire hate experiences, and it's just like a pop off like that, and it's aggression, violence, and death. I don't understand why that's okay for you just to say that, and for you not to think that you need help. You need help. If you think that those things are okay, it's not okay. You need help. I hope you seek help. I pray for you, and I hope you seek help. Because who's ever taught you these things, and whatever type of brainwashing and whatever things you go to, that's a shadow energy. Whatever things you go to, it's because you're not dealing with that wound within yourself. It should never be okay to see somebody in pain and trauma. It shouldn't be okay. That means that you've been ingrained to think that and that's part of the MK Ultra. You've been ingrained to see and watch people be in pain and watch people be until you're desensitized. You're desensitized to a point that you're using yourself as a weapon. You've been used as a weapon. You've been brainwashed and mind scraped to think that that's okay. They've scraped your mind to think that there is no conscience within you, to think that why aren't you going and helping them? Why would you induce pain on somebody, which has been done to me? When I chose to divorce my ex, he went on a covert plan so that he would never be recognized as the one that was doing the harm. He's fooled everybody. He's fooled judges. He's fooled police. He's fooled families. He recently got in touch with my sisters, which I have no contact with. I don't have any contact with him. And he'll weave these. He's a web weaver of deceit and lies because he knows that somehow, some ways, God's going to bless me. So he wants back in. He wants to crawl and slide his way back in and he'll get in touch with family. This is what they do. This is what covert abusers do. This is how they isolate. They start weaving and they start planting lies into all of the outside sourcing people, and they start weaving new lies because they know that they're also being investigated. They know that the police are looking at them, and that's what they do. They plant lies. They plant seeds of hate. They plant seeds of question. They plant seeds of doubt, and then they'll walk out of a room and say, "Oh, I think you got that wrong. That's not how it was. I think you're going crazy. You might want to get some rest." This is how these covert abusers talk, and they fool everybody. They have churches and they have businesses, and they'll steal your business, and they'll think that, "Oh, this is my business. Oh, we changed her upload dates on her videos. My upload date was a lot farther back than that." And this is how they go back, and they start derailing your whole life and dropping the bottom of your life out so that their life looks as if their life is your life. They're trying to manipulate a destiny swap because they know they can't do it spiritually. They've been blocked on every level, on every disease, on every dimension, on every thread. They have been blocked. And why their bodies are all diseased and why their brains are sitting the way it's sitting. He would say something like that just as an off-the-cuff statement, and he would walk out of the room and the kids would be going, "What is that? Should that be said?" But nobody catches these things. When you catch people saying that, you know that they're involved with other things that are going on that absolutely affect their brain and how they think. Those things aren't okay. They're not okay, people. It's not okay. How can you do the plethora of things that are going to come out on what was done to me behind the scenes with hundreds of people? We're talking hundreds. People in every business system. Insurance, judge, policing, banking, all of these people. My ex was in a crime ring, and he could send information on ID to anybody and have it done because they were working with illegal aliens, Nigerians. He just recently had my children's passports done, and I'm guaranteeing you that any money that he sold my children's ID, their old passports. I can guarantee you he's done something. He's just nothing but he's an evil person. He'll do anything to get anything that he wants. He doesn't get it. He'll say anything and plant seeds, and he'll start weaving these stories, and he'll start depositing ugly, dark-ass seeds, and then it involves other people. So when the police investigators actually go and investigate, they've got all of these other things to go for, and by the time they actually sort something out, it's him and he's gone. He's a master manipulator. He needs to be in jail. He needs to be mentally checked over, which I said to my lawyer years ago. He had early onset Alzheimer's many years ago. He should not be walking around. He shouldn't be. Because he's done everything in his power to punish me every day. Because I walked away, I would not be involved in his underground group. And I challenged him every single time Spirit showed me. And he refused, he denied, he wore masks. He still refuses to this day. He'll still lie to everybody's face to this day. He's not well. That is when they have done so much suppression, they refuse. They're hanging so much onto a life where they wanted to live, and they wanted to be a part of that life because they were getting what they wanted. And they're going to abuse everybody they can until they get what they want. He will dig his heels in until he gets what he wants. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if he puts my children against me. He doesn't care if he's going to screw up my children. He doesn't care. How's that okay? Where are the police? Where are the FBI? Where are the police? And it goes back to, I'm going to say it again. It goes back to I hold absolute liability to the shadow government. I hold absolute liability to the ones at the very fucking top because they're the ones that directed the cult. They gave the cult all the information they needed to make these people and these vulnerable people, some of them had mental illnesses and instabilities, and they knew they were vulnerable in some way. And they took it upon themselves, they took advantage of that, and they gave these people everything they needed to become weapons. This needs to be investigated by the highest, most integrous, most moral, most ethical people on the planet. This needs to be resolved because this is dangerous, beyond all reason. And I'm lucky that I have the skills and abilities that I do to pinpoint exactly what's going on far better than any investigator or any police. Because I've been calling this out for 6 years and ain't nothing been done. They're still walking around. How's that okay? For them to bring more people into the mess, for them to bring more lies into the mess, for them to get more things and crimes done. How is that okay? Calgary police are so corrupt. The whole city of Calgary, I have no bearing that the Calgary city is going to do anything to bring any safety or peace to anybody. They've been watching these things go on. There's many people in that sex cult crime ring where they have They have debilitating diseases, and they're continuing to have their escort services. The Calgary police know it. So everybody that's involved with this Calgary police and everybody involved with my ex, you make sure that you get tested and continue to get tested, because some of these diseases won't show up for 5 to 10 years. I'm going to say it because nobody's protecting anybody in that city. The police aren't protecting me. They're not protecting me on any level. They paid children and they paid innocent people to bear false witness in court. These people's lives are ruined because of that bearing. And these people in this cult, the mental manipulation, the mental degradation, the emotional manipulation, the spiritual manipulation, the spiritual abuse, because they use black magic and voodoo. These things have to be seen all over the world because it is the most horrible abuse that would have been used in Auschwitz back in Hitler's days. This is the exact same stuff that's going on. It's mental and spiritual abuse, and they are breaking people's souls to become criminals. And that's exactly what Epstein was involved with. And these things go all the way up to the very fucking top, and they're not going to get out of it. I want the top fucking dogs. These are human agenda experiments, and this is the outcome of it. And humanity has to see the darkness. Humanity has to see the darkness. Humanity has to see the brain scans. Humanity has to see what is done to the family. Humanity has to see what is done to the DNA. The DNA is affected by everything that you do, thought, word, and deed. Your DNA is affected. If there's no light getting to your DNA will go into regression. Your DNA will not come forward and it will not activate. This is why it's such a huge problem on the planet of our evolutionary species, because we will not evolve unless we get this. This darkness is going to stop your DNA. Your species will never evolve. As I keep telling you, your species won't evolve. The DNA won't activate. It goes into regression. It goes into regression. It's a serious experience here, people. And these satanic groups are all over the world. And they're in every community. Their cults and covens, their little black minions are in every community. And they stalk you. They stalk you slowly. They get to know your patterns. They'll start stalking your house. They'll start doing chanting and voodooing on your house. They'll plant things underneath your step. They'll come in and out of your house whenever they want. Illegal surveillancing, stalking, spying, hacking. They'll get into your computers. I show you printouts of them hacking on my computer. I showed you printouts last week. They hacked into my phone. They hacked into my email. They're all over. They're everywhere. There's no privacy. There's no human rights. There's no constitutional rights. They have broken 17 federal crimes, probably even more. And where are the fucking feds? Where's the police? How many people you want to? I was supposed to be number 9 on the sacrifice list. That was 4 years ago. So how many people have died in between then? They're saying another 3 at least. So these are spiritual killers here. How many is Calgary going to be okay with? Calgary, my family has absolutely been destroyed, and my children have been affected by the mind-washing, brain-scraping, all the crap that's been done vibrationally and dark-assly. Because that's all the dark energy is. They're going in and they're going to mess up everything that you are emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually, and they're going to start ripping apart your life one by one by one by one. Your work, your family, your sister. Like, who is anybody to call my sisters? I don't talk to my sisters. They don't talk to me. But that's just one where he's going to get in because he wants to find out where's everything at with the inheritance. Where's everything at with my mom? How's her health? So he can start doing voodoo on her because he wants that inheritance. How much you want to bet? They've already got a death plot on my mom. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet he's going to try and get in with my sister? He's going to try and sleep with my sister and trying to get an insurance. I bet you any money. Go look, investigators. I bet you any money there's an insurance form on my mom. Somehow, some way. But you would try and fight my sister on that. My sister's a hawk. My sister won't allow nothing. These people are evil. They're evil, evil people. They don't care who they ruin. Eric Raimundo Perez. The only regret that I have is marrying you. All I did was marry you, and you made the last 25 years of my life absolute torment and terror. I'll never, ever be the same person because of you. You stalk me and hack me and you follow me and you think that it's just a big fucking game to you, and you will never let me be until I am as miserable as you. But the problem and the difference there is that you will always be exactly where you are because you're refusing to heal. And I will always ascend. Because I do the work, because I want to be the better person, because I want to be something that the children can find and seek light in. Because I will be that light. Meanwhile, you lie and wear masks and pretend that you're not who you are. And you've hurt and you've harmed and you've damaged a lot of people's lives because you simply won't face who you are. You simply won't face your childhood wounds. You simply won't face the fact that you are not who you say you are. And that will never, ever change until you wake up and heal your wounds. I have my right to be divorced. I have my right to be as far away from Calgary as possible. These people have stolen and raped and ruined everything that I have ever touched and owned. And that was their intention. That was their intention. Interpol investigations, FBI, CIA. These people's intentions was to destroy and rip apart through their hate, through their masochism, to rip apart every ounce of who I was. Every ounce of it, be it my work, and rip apart the upload dates on my YouTube, and then find a scam and find somehow where they can make it something of theirs. They take people's lives and they take it over by switching your upload dates, by switching your monies, by switching your fabricate of your bank accounts, and they'll start pretending they're you. They'll start pretending they take over your life. It's a parasite. These are parasites. That's what parasites do. They get in and they take over. Because they're not happy in who they are. They want to be you. And if I'm not mistaken, if you absolutely investigate this one diabolical group in Calgary, and you investigate everything and you have them locked away, and you have doing testing on them, like you've been doing for me for the past 50 years, if you actually test these people, and you actually do research on these people, I'm absolutely positive that you can guarantee it to the shadow government, and they were absolutely spotted and directed. Because this is a systematic thing. It's very organized. How these people behave in destroying people is very organized. It's military-like. It's the Hunger Games. It's military-like, and it's very sick. It has to be investigated. I'm telling you what I see. I'm telling you what I'm shown. I'm telling you what I'm told. This is sick. And then again, you heard the person that I picked up telepathically. They watched the super chat. It's fun. It's fun to watch people suffer. It's fun to watch people get killed. It's fun to watch, and the shadow government supports this. The shadow government wanted me suppressed. The shadow government wanted me silenced because I'm calling out what they do. It affects your DNA. You will never have an evolved species by any dark magic act you do. You just won't. You will never evolve. It affects your DNA. When you are stressed on a regular basis, when you are impounded with negative hate chanting, when you impound chanting on your DNA, on your brain, when you impound, your fields, your bodies, your matter gets warped. It gets warped. Your body cannot evolve unless light is getting to it, unless you infuse and harmonize light, bring homeostasis. These are true things. So I'm asking all of humanity. It's a very concerning experience. This is the damage of one cult in one very small town. And they called themselves a secret society. They called themselves special, and they lure people in. And they bring stories of manipulation and stories of hate, and they'll touch everybody they can on their peripheral, and then they start weeding their way back in. My ancestors have said, you are not coming back in. You will never come back in to ever be around my energy ever again. The vault doors are shut. These people are shut out. They are parasites, and they will eat you alive. They will get your paperwork to see how you sign your paperwork. They will get your taxes. They have people that they pay in the banking. They have people that they pay in Revenue Canada. They have people that they pay at YouTube. YouTube is going to be held liable. The shadow government, you're going to be held liable. There is a crime ring of all of these people, and these people have to be threaded. Who are they? Where is this? And it's going to be pulled. And just like this, and it's going to be taken out. Source knows. Source's hand on every single person involved, and the thread and the mess and the spider web of disgustingness is going to get pulled. They're parasites. They feed on hate because there's no light in them. They don't feed on love anymore. And this has been ingrained. This is something that is brainwashed. It's a cult thing. They watch masochistic videos. They watch hunting videos. It's fun for them. That's how they get their energy. Instead of life force being in love and positivity and light, and that's natural life force energy, they feed off masochism. And that's the underground black web where they video snuff videos, snuff films. The black web is being pulled. It is the lowest version of humanity. These things are very real. It affects it affects everything. It affects humanity evolving beyond barbarianism. And it's a parasite, and it spreads fast. Look at how long I've been talking about this and nobody's doing anything about it. And I'm one that has power. I'm one that has vibrational power. And look at it, still these people are still walking around. It's so dangerous. When is anybody going to take me seriously? I'm living on the street because of these people. I have spiritual power. And nobody in the collective has supported me. Nobody, except my 2 clients. And that's what they do. They'll put the seed of hate, they'll put the seed of this and the seed of that. My family didn't support me. And then they put the seed in the plant about your work people, and they'll try and make sure you never get hired again. They'll play with your vehicles, they'll play with your bank accounts, they'll play with your children, and they'll just start seeding seed of hate, start manipulating, sending videos through to the people that you talk to. This is what they do. It is absolute and utter, the most disgusting, vile. It's worse than Hitler. It's a whole different level of hate and human demolishing beyond what Hitler was doing. I'm telling you that right now. And when all this information comes out, when all of this information comes out on what's been done, this one cult in Calgary, if they could tell you the secrets of what's been done, they'll show you very blatantly this cult needs to be researched, and it needs to be studied, and they need to be away, locked up, and everything that these people have been doing, when it comes out to the public, it's a whole level bigger than Hitler. Whole level bigger. And then you have to say to humanity, how did this happen? These people talk about church. These people have churches. These people talk about the Bible. They know all the Bible verses. So how is that godly? They don't believe in God at all. They pray for my death to their deities, which work for me because their deities won't even deal with them. And so we have to get to the bottom of this. Who was the director of this? What was the agenda? What's the core agenda on this group and cult? Where did it begin? Where's the seed beginning on this cult? Who are directing them? Who are paying them? They get paid to be like this. They get paid to spawn hate. Isn't that concerning, humanity? You will never evolve. Your species will never get beyond 3D. You just will not get beyond 3D. Read on DNA. Read on the DNA and what happens when you're under stress. On a consistent, regular basis. That's why the star seeds have to come in. But they're not coming in because they're all getting trafficked and they're getting harvested. I've been talking about this for 6 years, people, and my YouTube channel has been suppressed and silenced. Your children aren't going to get anywhere beyond this harvesting experience. It has to be resolved yesterday. These leaders of the countries have to look at this, and they have to see what their shadow has done. So their power over others and not healing their divine feminine masculine energies, and how damaging and dangerous they have gotten this whole not healing issue. All of this is so unnecessary. The core reason is they're not healing their divine feminine masculine issues. And therefore, thus then, when they go into psychosis and they go into the ascension, because the light's going to keep bathing, when the light keeps bathing, they start getting all threatened at anybody that comes before them, and they start wanting power over others and domination over others because they're not feeding their bodies with light. They're not feeding their bodies with love because they don't know love anymore. They're disconnected. And when you don't feed with light, when you don't feed with love, you go to masochism and fear. You go to that suffering because they get fed by suffering and pain and fear as opposed to getting fed by love and compassion and joy. What are you being fed by? Love or hate? That's the mechanics of it, people. That's exactly what's going on our human collective. Share my videos. And YouTube's going to get sued till there's nothing left to sue YouTube. We need better people. We need better ethics. We need better morals. We need better integrity so that the people that you have in your company aren't going to get bought and sold out. So that they're not paying people that are clicking the clickety-clackities so that the satanic people and all of these masochistic people that are getting paid to be hateful, they're going to take $100 just to mess up 1 or 2 clicks on somebody's account. So they're making $500 to $600 a month by messing up your YouTube account. So anybody that's investigating me and anything that these people have said is absolutely 100% fucking false. YouTube has been messing with my upload dates, and I can prove it because the upload dates in the backgrounds are my houses from Calgary. And I've been away from Calgary for over 6.5 years. So their upload dates are absolutely wrong, and it can be proven. These people are just diabolical in crime. They're diabolical. I will go into any courtroom and I will go into any courtroom and I will give any statement because nobody's been listening to me. And the aligned readers are only verifying what I've been saying. That's why I'm sharing their videos, because at least their videos are not shadow banned. The shadow governments, the so-called officials, the police that are getting paid to not do what they're meant to do. There's people that are dying. I was supposed to be number 9. Spirit said there's at least 3 more. So that's about 12 people just involved in the discrimination case with me, where people are just being mysteriously taken out, practiced on, death wishes practiced on, poisonings, intent to infect. I mean, who can count how many people have been intentionally infected, Spirit, because they're not doing their due diligence and they're not being responsible. How many people from this one cult have been infected? You don't want to hear that number. Are you sure about that number, Spirit? You don't want to hear what I just heard. I want to puke. As a blanket statement, everybody just better get your STDs checked and just keep getting checked. I'm appalled. Calgary police, you're going to be liable. The officials will be liable. The shadow government, you'll be liable. You need to be healed, people of humanity. When you're sharing your life force and you're sleeping with somebody and and some of these people, because I know how well these people lie. My ex was the best liar, and he'll manipulate anybody. He can manipulate anybody. He's a shapeshifter. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if he's got his children against you or not. He doesn't care. He'll lie. He'll say whatever he can to get out of his crimes. He will never face what he has done. If he has a confession, if he's in there taking his statements, thank God he's done something right. Because he's made my life hell, and he's known I've been homeless, and he knows he's just making phone calls to my sister. Why? Because he wants to know how my mom's doing, if she's going to pass away or not. So he can do voodoo on her, and he can get the insurance off and the inheritance. He thinks he's going to get her inheritance because he's trying to whack me off and have all of the mail like he did before, have all the mail rerouted to him so that he can get whatever inheritance, whatever monies people send me, because I'm the light worker, I'm the healer, I'm doing good in the collective. So people send me things, and he takes it and reroutes it. How much mail of mine does he have? He's already spent other monies that mine. He's already spent the monies that he took the first time he stole from me. And then he takes my work and steals that work and says it's his, says that he's the conduit. Do you see what I'm saying? It's diabolical. And how much are you going to let this person walk around and kill people and infect people and take people's lives and rip them apart from one way to Sunday? Where is my justice, people? Where's my justice? This has been 50 years of crap. Before the Calgary cult, it was the government. I mean, at what point, people? And the stupid ass Hunger Games. Are you seriously? Is your moral compass is that low? You have that much money and time on your hands. That's your moral compass. Is to rip people's lives apart. But what about your lives? What about your families? What about where you sit? As long as you're okay. Because you got lots of people surrounding you. It's okay to watch less lowly people until one of us lowly people are one of the highest ranked people in the heavens. Then what? Then you've ruined every chance of you and your whole family. Your whole family will never get back into heaven. You just signed your whole family right off. None of you are getting into heaven. None of you are going to have an evolved. None of you will evolve beyond 3D. You won't. You've ruined your DNA and their future DNA. You can't evolve without better DNA. You can't. It is that simple. And all you are resolving is in the dark. The 300 that were involved in discriminating me, these are the actual facts. And when you all see what comes out in the investigation reports, Some of them the cities won't release because the cities don't want to see how bad they are. And Source already told me. The government and the city won't release some information because they don't want to be seen how bad they are and how much chaos it's going to cause. When they just told me that number, I'm telling everybody that's been involved with any of these escort groups, with any of these people that do date scammings and date things, anybody involved with these people and these younger gay cults where they do underground gay sex parties, underground, trans sex parties and all of these things, everybody better get blanketed and checked and keep getting checked on a regular basis because the numbers are big. And they said the numbers that come out through the city are not going to be what these numbers are. And that's why I said, if you're not healed and you think that it's okay to have this whole Muslim thing and that you've got many wives and this harem and all of this stuff and this polyamorous and this big wave that's been coming across North America the past 5 years about everything, it's so great being polyamorous, it's so great being this, it's so great being that. Okay, well, until you have even one person that doesn't want to face even one of their wounding from their childhood, you've got rampant diabolical diseases that now everybody's been infected with from one sex orgy party. So that's a lot of premeditated murder charges and accomplice charges because all of you knew and all of you did nothing. I've been talking about this for 6 years. I've been fighting for my rights. I've been fighting for somebody to listen to me. They have stripped and raped me from everything, and they destroyed my family and turned my children, some of my children, against me, so that my children think that I need a psych ward. When if you do the testing and you actually see what's going on and you do the financial audit, everything that I've said is 100% true. And when the numbers start coming in from the city, and when the numbers start coming in from disease control, and when the numbers start coming in from the actual thousands of pieces of evidence I've given my lawyer, that I said, go to the lawyer, there's perjury on his financials, because his illegitimate children he's not accounting for. They're bearing false witness for the people lying on stand to say I'm this, this, and this. Nobody's even met me. None of these people even know me. I've been over here for 6.5 years. Ain't nobody been before me. Nobody's been before me. I live a hermit serving Source so that I can do what I do, so that I can bring forward truth, so that people are sitting at home in families that they think are true families. They're not. Their husbands are in underground sex groups because they're not dealing with their divine feminine masculine wounding. They're not dealing with their sexual repressions. They're not dealing with their own molestation and rape cases. And it goes on and the cycle goes on. Are we going to break the cycle of abuse? Are we going to break the cycle of underground debauchery? Are we going to break the cycle of cults and covens and the dumbest act of secret societies that make it sound special, but it isn't? It's just crime. It's organized, disgusting crime. And everybody gets touched. Everybody is disturbed. Everybody gets broken, and you have to heal. So who's healing? And what are the leaders talking about? And how are the leaders dealing with this? These are dangerous, huge issues. This one issue of this one cult in this one city, and if it gets out in North America, you absolutely bet there's going to be a whole bunch of people around the world, because this goes on in every city, and the people at the very top, the elites and the shadow governments, each and every one of you are liable for all the things that you know about and you don't do anything about because you think it's kind of funny. Because you know that you'll always be protected, you know that your families will always be protected, and you know that your families are always going to have their guards and their security and everything else. What does that do for you and your unity consciousness? Because everything is seen and everything is known, and it's going to be sitting on your soul. I'll make sure of it. I'll see you in court. I hear some of your comments, diabolical issues. They are diabolical issues. We have to face it. There was a red alert back in the 1980s because they were seeing how aggressive domination and power over others, because they weren't healing the wounds. They weren't getting light into the cells. They weren't getting light into the DNA. And if you work with the light body and you actually do what we practice and you actually do what we're offering, then you actually ascend and you move beyond those traumas. If you sit in those traumas and you stay in those traumas, and then you have people in diabolical cults where they're actually brainwashing you and doing conjuring and voodoos and rituals and further masochistic video watching and snuff video watching. I mean, and I'm guaranteeing you, I'm going to say it, I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to say it. You have it right here. I'm going to say it. Spirit, should I say it? You give me the go-ahead, Father. If I can say this, you'll back me up on this, and there'll be proof and evidence. I guarantee you that this cult in Calgary, it was absolutely instituted that this cult in Calgary, that was the intention. Now you tell me these people should be leaders. And why they've been trying so very hard to knock me off. Because once the public hears about how diabolical shit really is, and you wonder why so many people are on the street, and these people are intelligent, and these people are beautiful, and they call a few people out, they call a few Masons out, and look what happens. They're on the street because they get systematically abused and their lives get ripped up and their inheritance and all of their retirement gets raped right from them. And they stand in front of a Mason and say, you can't do that. Why did you do that? Why? I don't even know you, and you're taking my inheritance, you're taking my insurance. It's absolutely mafia, cowboys raping, the white man taking the Indians all over again. It is that brutal. And it's all done by covert, dark occult abuse. And these people will laugh and smell in your face because they don't think they can be caught. They think they're untouchable because they do everything black magic and voodoo. There's a full moon happening right now, people. How many do you think that are just going to pop up and have mysterious deaths because they're the next sacrifice victim? So watch. Watch over the next couple of days and watch the death rates. Watch the suicide rates. It happens all the time, and nobody's watching it, nobody's talking about it, nobody's doing anything about it. There needs to be new laws about dark occult crimes. Shadow governments and their private agendas. You will be moved. You're suspended. All of you are suspended. All of you can just visualize have your walking papers. They said they're getting ready to go. Anybody involved in sex cults, make sure that you get checked and keep getting checked, and do not have sex or any interaction with anybody without you telling them that you may be infected. That is your legal right and your responsibility. Know that. Know your human rights, people. If you have somebody that's been involved in such things, and you know somebody in that group was infected and tested positive for HIV or AIDS, you absolutely know that you have the right to say, I may be infected. You have to say that. If you're having sex or interactions with anybody else, you have to say that, people. You have to give that other person the right to say, no, I'm sorry, then I'd rather not get involved with you. They have the right. If you know that you may be infected somehow, some way, you cannot say, well, I tested positive and negative now. No, I may be infected, it might not show up right. You have the right to say that's your moral obligation. And in a court of law, you'd be guilty because you know that. People have to wake up. I chose to be celibate for 15 years. Because I know the importance of my energy and my life force. It's important, people. Start treating yourself with respect and hold yourself higher. Hold yourself with higher standards. Why would you ever be involved with groups like that and orgies like that where they're chanting hate and taking somebody's power? Why would people do these things? Because you want to be seen? You want to be famous for 5 minutes? Well, why don't you go in and heal you? Why don't you have your famousness? What's your famousness? What's your ideal piece of the puzzle? That's what we're here for. And now now this is what's happened. So where did everybody go? A mess. Who's going to clean it? Guess who they're going to throw in? Me. The one that's been attacked for 50 years. I've got nothing. I'm exhausted. Now I got to go in and clean up people's mess that I've been talking about for 10 years. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. Now look. This has to be a case study for the entire world. This has to be brought up in a case study. We need people and investigators. We need healers. You need psychologists, and these psychologists and these psychiatrists have to get trained on multidimensional psyche healing. They have to see me for classes. Because how they're diagnosing people, they're not fully diagnosing them on a multidimensional level, on a psyche level. Everything is at the psyche level. It's at the psyche level, people. I know we're just starting to enter into 5D, and these things are all new, but when you have something so diabolical that's just happening in the collective like this, giving people drugs is not going to solve the issue. You have to solve things at the core level of energy. These are psyche wounds. These are psyche wounds that rotate in the soul. And when they are not healed, when this wound is not healed, it can create a monster in somebody because they're refusing to look at who they are. And the Calgary cult is an example. This is what happens. And if that cult is then further directed by MK Ultra-like intentions by higher ups, you absolutely bet this is a disaster waiting to happen. And I told everybody. I told everybody. Anybody involved with a sex orgy or sex cult, talk to everybody that you know, share my video. Make sure you get tested and regular tested, and you have a legal right and obligation. If you are sexually involved with anybody, you do have to tell them, I may be infected. That is your legal responsibility. Because if you pass on a disease to somebody else and you've ruined that person, and that person actually has a partner at home, they're going to sleep with their partner, and all of a sudden there's a whole community and families involved, and then these people are touching on children. If I were a city official, this would be a state of emergency. If I were a city official. Zero care about life. Zero regard about God's sacred life. This is what not healing does. It separates, it destroys, it wants domination. It wants to be seen as the winner. It wants to be seen as the famous one. It wants to be seen as the everything because it was so wounded when it was a child. It was never seen. It was never heard. And when the hidden child is not seen and heard and all they are is abused, and then they're chanted on negatively and ritualistically, and then they're dogmatized, and then they're put in box stores and beliefs about who they are and who they're not. And then they're not fed anything because when you're not fed love and you're not fed light, it goes dark. And your DNA will never evolve. Your DNA just cannot evolve without light. The only way your DNA will evolve is in light. The only way your DNA will evolve is light. The only way your DNA will evolve is light. The only way your DNA will evolve is light consciousness. And if you're not practicing light consciousness and all you are is dark, your consciousness will not grow. You will never evolve. Humanity is at a stuck point. And you have enforced it. It has been enforced. Agendas and traumas, completely 100% unnecessary and healable. This is one cult, one city, one shadow government that knows exactly what's going on. And when I started asking questions about getting my proper birth records, about the attacks and the systematic abuse, and I've been calling it and I've been piercing it and I've been saying, these are the people involved. These are the shadow people involved. Why are they not stepping down? Where is my inheritance? I want my birth records and I want my inheritance. I will have a dual passport. Because there's going to be people on both sides of the border that are going to want my healing and they're going to want my teaching, so this never happens again. For one cult in one city to do the damage that has been done, and they've had 300 people involved, and they're not the ones involving, also the shadow government. 300 people involved from all over the world. If I was a city official for the Disease Control Center, I would call this an emergency. And I would have to be obligated to notify the citizens as those people that are walking around with such said disease. Your legal obligation is, if you have a disease and you're getting in any type of a way involved with anyone, when it becomes intimate, you must say, I may be infected. I'm still waiting for results and it could take up to 5 years. Are you willing to be in this with me and can we take proper precautions? And you have to have that legal discussion. And then you should actually document it, and you should both sign it, and you should actually video record it so that you both are aware. Say, yes, I care about you, you care about me. Let's have this open conversation. Because when you have a higher DNA, when you're in alignment, when you have your higher light body and you have your higher light experience and you are higher in light, none of these things will be an issue because you're never going to be in such situations. You're never going to sell yourself out. You're never going to be involved in orgies where they want to chant people's consciousness and take over their power. You're never going to be involved in those situations because you know who you are. These are situations that are for the experiences because people are not sure who they are. They're not healed. They've been walking around unhealed. We've been saying it from day one, and then there's been extra pressure and power from the directors that are coming down and saying, let's see if we can take 1 or 2 cults and see really what happens and see how far we can go. Because we have this one light worker that she's kind of on the peripheral of, and maybe we can get them attacking her because we really want her taken out of the picture. And then we can have like a snuff video and we can do our little human hunger games and our human hunting games, and we can just roll it all into one. Roll it into one diabolical torturing tool for this one divine feminine healer that's meant to kind of be a ruler of our planet and help humanity along. So instead of it being a really wonderful, really wonderful last human timeline, no, it's been psychologically tormenting on every level because nobody's got an ounce of fucking truth. They're all wearing masks and nobody's taking accountability for the damage and the diabolical mess that's being made right now in cults and covens across North America. I'm just talking North America. I'm not even going global. This is where we have to have a foundation of understanding who are we, what do we exist within, what's going on within us. This is how we fix things. Because we know that we are truth, and we know that we are light, and we know that we are each puzzles of the piece of the puzzle. We know that we can stand up and be famous and powerful all on our own, and we can do it our way. And we can never give our power away, never give our energy away, we never give our light away. We stand in sovereignty of who we are, and you never bow to lesser. You don't need deities, you don't need God. All you need is a spark of God within you. All the rest is garbage. It's garbage, and look what's been done. Because the people in the church and state, the people in the church, the people in the buildings, they are the ones that absolutely know what's going on, and they're hiding it. They're doing the rituals in the basements. Not all churches, but most of them, yes, are corrupt. And the people that run them are corrupt because they're not coming out to heal. This healing needs to take place, people. Light, wisdoms, intelligences. This is the only way to evolve beyond where you are. Ascension pathwork is absolutely vital. It is called Light, Wisdoms, Intelligences, and it's daily pathwork. Daily pathwork to understand who you are, what you exist within, and what is truly going on within you. And when you have these soul fragments, and when you have these triggers, and when you have soul fragments, when you have triggers, and you're dealing with your divine feminine, your divine masculine energy, you can wrap it all up and integrate it and heal who you are. So that you would never, ever, in a million effing evers, ever do what has been done. And now hundreds and hundreds of people are affected. Their lives will never be the same. And everybody just sits by and says, yeah, okay, well, it's not you, it might be you. So if you sit there and you think that you're not involved, your unity consciousness, you're absolutely involved. Somehow, some way, you're watching this for a reason. And what are you going to do about it? You cannot just shake your head and say, it's not me. You are a part of this collective. What are you hiding and what are you not facing? What are you not dealing with? What are you not transmuting? What are you going to be a part of? Are you getting out to the communities and are you helping? Are you sitting at the coffee shops and we're looking to help people? Are you out giving to the home pantries? Are you out giving to the food pantries? Are you out giving to the homeless that have been enforced there? I've been enforced to be homeless because this is how diabolical these people are. These people are savages. They think it's funny. They make their money on porn videos for the black web, suffering videos on the black web, and crime and insurance fraud. And they use your signatures, they use your name and bank accounts and mail, and they'll reroute everything back to them. It's a whole circus crime ring. And if they get mad at you and they know that they're infected and they know that they might be threatened with you because they're so messed up and they're not healed at all, this is when they have those parties and date scams. And they put a little something in your drink and all of a sudden you become a bit vulnerable. And next thing you know, there's a video made of you and they bring it to you and say, well, if you go to the police, you say anything, I've got a video. And of course, nobody wants to be blackmailed. Of course, so many people are. Why do you think the judges and the police aren't doing anything? Because they've all been involved in their little, let's blow off, let's have a little bit of a good time, and let's see, let's see how young we can get the people at the party. Let's get them younger and younger and younger until it gets, illegal. They absolutely know what they're doing. That's why they do everything in private and secret. So now what, people? Now what? You step back and let the celestial you've been targeting for 50 years, and you've been bullying, and you've been judging, and you've been teasing, and you've been everything else. Nobody's given me any donations. Why would I come in and help you all? All you've done is beat the crap out of me vibrationally and teasing me and bullying me. You haven't given anything to me except hate. So now you want me to come in and fix things. 6 years, go back and watch my videos for the past 6 years. Specifically the last 4. Elite soul harvesting. Epstein agendas. Secret cults and covens that have been ruining communities. There's nothing special about them, they're hate. And they get what they want through manipulation of dark occult crimes. They systematically abuse you until there's nothing left. And people are left outside, people are left on the street, and people are dying before they're meant to die because they do black magic on them. And then you'll get a call out of nowhere to a sister or a brother or a cousin or an uncle that says, hey, how's your mom doing? I heard she's in an old care home. And the next thing you know, they're doing voodoo on her to speed up the inheritance that they think they're going to get. My ex has nothing to do with me. We've been estranged for 8 years. There's no fucking way he's going to get a penny from anybody. Anybody from Calgary Cult, you will all be found guilty. I'll be there to ensure that all of you will be found guilty for the accomplice of hate and intention to infect and intention and premeditated murder and the 65 to 70 sacrifices that you have all plotted and planned on me, along with the demolition and the demolishing of everything that you put your hands on. These people that they touch, everything that these people that they touch there is in destruction. They're not into building, and there's nothing about these people that are building in goodwill. Everything they touch is destroyed and broken. That's why they're leaving. That's why they're all moving. See if they can set up shop somewhere else. Because they know there's karma coming. Be it the great flood or be it the great earthquake. Your karma is going to follow you. Don't you all worry. It doesn't matter how far you think you're going to go, how much evidence you think you're going to destroy. Your karma sits on your soul, and your soul is eternal. Your soul is going to be with God, and your soul will sit. And your soul will sit with it until you make it right. That is the only way. Truth and making it right. You must clear your densities. You must clear the hate you created. You must clear it. If you are intelligent enough to do all of these crimes and get 300 people involved in my one life and destroy my life, and I am spiritually powerful. If you are smart enough to do what you have done, you are smart enough to get yourself fucking healed. And in a court of law, as a judge, that's what I would say. You're guilty. You were told to get tested for early Alzheimer's. You were told to get tested. You were told. The paperwork is there. Several conversations were had. You were all told. All of you were told. All my videos show it. All of my videos have been showing you. All of you. I see things. I said, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. But because nobody's ever been caught before. Because this is how the dark occult, this is how the secret societies, this is how the 33rd degree Masons of the 33rd degree and 33rd degree. I'm so sick of hearing that. As if these 33rd degree people are anything. Are you kidding me? Look where they're at. That's your compass. That's what you're going to do a ritual with. That's what you're putting your hand up you want to belong with. Really? Your highest oath is with God. The only reason why I'm here today is my oath with God. The only reason why my voice is because of God. My ranking, it's only God. I will never bow to lesser. So as we see things unfold and as we see things unroll, everybody's going to have to take responsibility because everybody is 100% responsible. What are you going to do? You're going to make sure that you're going to do your pathwork daily. Do your pathwork daily. If you don't know what it is, then sign up for a session with me. Have a session with me. We'll get you started. Get your pathwork. Start doing your pathwork. Start sorting out who are you? Who are you? What you exist within? What's going on within you? Sit down and do your pathwork. Start getting a relationship and a connection with Source Creator. Source Creator is the one that aligns you. Your higher self aligns you. Do your pathwork daily. Do your journaling. Connect with Spirit. Connect with your ancestors. Connect with your higher self. Right? If you're connecting everything that you're getting, you would have that gut feeling when you're in situations like that. And somebody's coming before you and they're saying, oh no, This person and I, we go way back. We're friends now. We've made up. We're friends now. And he's told how many lies to people. We're not friends. We've been estranged for 8 years. We're not friends. You ruined my life. You do sacrifices on me. We're not fucking friends. Buddy. People. Cult people. You think you're going to come be my friend when you sit there and chant death on me and ruin my family? And you ruin my work. And you take my work and you think it's yours. Stand on stage. Anybody that says they're me, stand on stage. I'll ask you a question on any piece of my work. I'll ask you a question. And I'll ask you your download. I'll ask you about it. You want to go there because you're insistent on proving to God. You're insistent on spitting on God. You're insistent on having the double standard and eating your cake and eating it too. If you say you are me, then stand on stage and I will ask you about everything I've created. I'll ask you about every one of my books. I will ask you and I want to hear you channel. I want to hear you channel God in front of me. And we'll record it for the whole world to see and hear. And then we'll know why you changed the upload dates. Because you want it to seem that you created the work before I did. This has been sitting in my soul since before I came here, and why you all started to hate me and why you all started to lie the day I was born. And why you shuffled me off and why you stole me and why I ended up halfway around the corner of the country. Because nobody wanted to know really who I was. Well, now you know who I am. I'm the Great Awakener. I am God. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to speak on every lie that's ever been told. Because this is a mess. And who's going to clean it? Who's showing the people who they truly are? What leaders are showing the people who they truly are? But the first thing you see on your TVs this morning is about the war in Beirut and Tehran and Iran. What leaders are talking about healing? What leaders are talking about how important evolution is for humanity, about the DNA and how we care for the DNA and how we operate within the DNA and God? What that has to do with anything? It has to do with everything. And there's going to be so many people that will never come out of their church and state, and that's fine, but you cannot hold yourself back because of these people. Let go. Let go of these people and move on. Let them sit where they sit. There will be people that will never awaken, and you have to move on. The 5D gates and the windows are closing, and you won't be given infinite opportunities to have eternal life. You just won't. You must get going, people. Eternal life is not offered to anybody like this ever again. This is our only ascension. And so now that we're talking about all of these beautiful and wonderful things that we have such power to transform, because if we're offered such tremendous challenges, we have everything within us to transmute it and make lemonade out of lemons. We absolutely do. I am living proof of it. I am the one that they take to anywhere in the universe. I am the one that they put in front of the darkest of the darkest. I'm the one that they put in front of the biggest mess. And they say, go to it. Why? Because I'm godly. And because if I tap in with God, I will do the very best that I can and I will offer it to the all. And so can you. Offer the best of who you are as godly. Because there is nothing that we cannot move through. We have to face it and move through it. That's energy. We have to transmute what has been done and stop the dark, occult conjuring. The more that you conjure, the more it's coming back to you. It is a no tolerance, which means what? It means your ancestors, your teams, your guides, and Gaia. Gaia is a spiritual being. She's a spiritual consciousness. When she's had enough, when the children's spirits have had enough, when the children's teams have had enough, they will all gather and they will throw your energy and conjuring back to you. And whether that's a car crash, whether that's an earthquake, whether that's a sinkhole coming out as soon as you step out of your house, it will hit you. Because you've been told to stop. Stop bringing hate to your planet. Stop bringing hate to your communities. Get healed. Anybody that thinks these things are okay, you need to get checked and you need to heal. If you bring hate, you're going to receive it back. If you're going to do these in conjurings and magic, you're going to receive it back. There's a no tolerance. The black web will be pulled as the zit that it is. Such snuff videos, trafficking and RICO crimes and crime rings will be pulled as it is. The Calgary cult, you are guilty, and I will charge you with the crimes that you have done herein. You're all forgiven. You have no weight with me. I want my monies returned, and you're not going to touch me for the rest of all eternity. You will no longer scam or steal from anyone. You will all be charged. Theft, premeditated murder, accomplice, and the myriad of other crimes that you've done. Defamation, bullying, stalking, abuse of power, abuse of technology, abuse of information, discrimination, harassment. It goes on and on and on and on and on. laundering, RICO, it's all there. Illegal surveillancing, it's all there. Investigators do your fucking jobs. When somebody says that something's going on, trust it and get on it. The laws have to change. We need dark occult laws, and they have to be implemented immediately, because this is just one of many. As light keeps hitting, the cults and the covens from all around the world will start to come out one by one by one. And then you will see and you will have to say, if you're doing dark magic, do it in instruction with your higher self and your guides, because it is only to be used for the extraction and for the exorcising of demons and entities. It is not to interfere with people's lives so you can get an insurance or inheritance. Oh my God. This is how bad the disconnection from spirit has been, because when you live in no sense of self, even though I'm homeless and I have nothing, my sense of self was with spirit, none of these things would have ever, ever, ever in a million effing evers been ever questionable. I would have never gone there. And why I left? Because the behavior is unconscionable. There's zero connection with God, zero connection with self-love, zero connection with who you are within, no compassion for yourself or love with yourself on any level, if this is what you do. And you must see this as a thing. You must get that. If you wish harm to another, it's going to come back to you, because that's the law of one. What you do to another comes back to you. What you do to another comes back to you. And why God will always lift the one in truth. Because nothing can stay hidden. Your masks are falling like that, like that, like that. And you will not walk away from this. Because innocent lives have been affected and their souls will never be the same. And in a court of law, that's a guilty verdict. And I will absolutely fall that gavel. Anubis will not let you walk by. All of you that owe me, send what you have to the bank address that I've sent. You're not just going to pop up and you're not going to come and see me. I don't want to see anybody from Calgary. We are never going to be friends or pals. I don't care what you have to say. You're 3 years too late. I want the monies returned that are meant to be in my pocket. Yesterday, when I was 20. Shadow government. Your karma is going to get worse every day and every hour, and it will affect your families and it will affect your lineage from here on out. You will never come into a body or reincarnate ever again. And every day we say this, you don't seem to care. This is how soul progression goes. If you don't care about life in the now, you will not have another body. This is the final 3D timeline. And is this truly what you want? Is this truly how it's become? You are here to be the best role model for your children. Your children will not go any further if you don't. It is that easy. They're contracted with you for a reason. Let's be very clear here that something was said in the video this morning. Those that have done such egregious things by manipulating children, manipulating the innocent, to have them go to the dark side, if you will, and have them bear false witness on legal court cases and say false things about their fathers and their mothers and say false things about what's really gone on when there's been nothing but unconditional love and devotion and care and snuggles and story time and cleaning and building the best possible humans you can build. And be with them and caress them and be with them in every way that is a loving mother, that a loving mother would, and kissing their ouchies and making them stand up tall and making them be proud of themselves and going to all their tea parties and playing pretend with them in their rooms and building Lego until there's no more Lego to build. All of these things, I'm telling the whole entire planet. If you do any of these such things and lure children into such darkness and degradation, just know something that you are going to carry on your soul's record. If you change the soul's record and they do something against their mother or their father, and you can change their Akash so that their next timeline will be another dark timeline and they won't have a chance at eternal life. They are going to have another dark timeline to pay the karma for the damages they've done to the people that they were manipulated into hurting and bearing false witness. And I want you to know, you might have had an issue with me because I forced you to face who you were, because that was my role in being in your reality. And all I did was suggest that you get tested. All I suggest is that you stay away from black magic and conjuring because it's going to hurt you and everybody around you. And I'd said these things hundreds and hundreds of times, and there's proof. There's absolutely proof of every email and date that I sent it, and the concerns I sent to my lawyer, and nothing was done. Because her statement was, we're not investigators. And until there's actual physical harm, there's nothing we can be doing, because that's dark occult as well. They know that. Unless there's physical harm, there's nothing that the courts will do. We have to change these laws. Because I've done everything, I've done my due diligence, and I come online every day and I talk about the damages of dark occultism, the damages of people that don't know what they're doing, the damages of misguided beliefs, the damages of church and state, the damages of being in wrong absolute beliefs, and what it does to the children that are here as starseeds to have destinies and dreams of their own. And in such cases, they're manipulated to a darker energy, and they do dark things on behalf of money or whatever the manipulation might be at the time. And they have been also abused in illegal surveillancing, and they have been manipulated to this experience. You're going to wear it on your soul, occult secret service, secret person, and secret government person. You lure children, you're only having your deeds against that, and you're having these deeds that a child that now has a dark timeline because of you and your dumb ass manipulation. Because you wanted to get in on your punishment on your ex-wife that left you years and years and years and years and years ago, where you could have just sat down and healed. So again, how much are we willing to let one cult and one group destroy people's lives? And that child's life is now forever changed, and their destiny has changed. Instead of being a light timeline, you've made it a dark timeline. And you've traded a bit of money back and forth, and now everybody sees. Everybody sees the damage of manipulation and voodoo and black magic, and you say you want to be a part of that. That's your compass. And people are being destroyed left, right, and center, and inheritances, insurance scams, and funeral scams, and I mean, it's just, there needs to be a whole team going in and dissecting everything from the cult in Calgary, and every thread needs to be followed right up to the shadow government, and everybody that's touched in between. And every piece of ID document that the Nigerians and whoever was brought in, and where and how and ever these IDs and certificates and their little helpers that came in, because there was absolutely Nigerians that were involved last summer in all of these crimes. They were sent here to follow me. They were sent here to work on my vehicle. They were sent here to make false accusations and crimes. These people, they make phone calls. They make phone calls to your work. They make phone calls to come and visit you at work and start stalking you and bullying you. All of these things have been done to me. I'm telling you the outcome. I'm telling you this happens in one city, in one small town. And the shadow government is involved, and you're not going to be released from this. We now have to sort out new crimes, new laws to be made. We need to sort out and research these people that have been in the cults and covens, and how much brain damage and how much stuff has been done, and where and why and when and how it was directed, and when and why and how and where the monies were transferred back and forth, and when and why and how and where the thread of this is plucked and pulled so that it never occurs again. Because these are hate crimes, and these are all unnecessary. It's absolutely 100% healable. These people can choose to heal instead of creating a cesspool of hate, of mess, of stories that are absolutely false, and you don't even need to look into them because they're nothing but false lies and manipulation. And how much of the city's time and energy are you going to waste with cults and covens like this, where every day it's a new lie, and they're bringing more and more people into their lies? 2 days ago, I heard that my ex called my sister. He's now brought her into the story of energy mess. I don't talk to any of these people. These people don't even know me. I'm not around them. I'm not even in the same province. But he's touching base with her to make sure get that connection, get that energy cord going, because that's what it's an energy cord. And he starts doing magic on it, so that she starts thinking about him, and she starts thinking, is she in love with him? And maybe she should go and date him, and he's going to call her up and say, hey, do you want to go on a date? I'm in town. This is how it goes, people. This is systematic abuse by Masons, by corrupt Masons, by corrupt people, by witches and warlocks. This is what they do. And all they care about is getting your money. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. They care about having an easy life, stripping you, raping you dry, and making your life as difficult as possible. And you have another 7 years of karma because you chose to be in a contract with them. That's what happens. And now that child that did that bearing a false witness and told a lie on the mother, told a lie on the father, whatever was told is an absolute lie, because there was nothing but unconditional love. I'm the one that talks about truth. That's my soul's contract, is truth. I can't be anything but truth. That's my soul's, it's embedded in me. That's what Source made me. I'm designed as truth. That's who I am. I'm the great awakener. I can't awaken people if I'm not truth. God coded me. God coded me. That's God's code. That's what I teach. So if you find out your code, you can be exactly who you're meant to be. And I'm bringing these things forward. 17 years. Perhaps we sit up and we listen now. Perhaps we sit up and we actually take action now. Perhaps we sit up and we actually revere the life that we're given and how improbable, impossible it is for us not to care. Our life is so very sacred, people. So sacred. How can it not be? You're meeting people from across galaxies and universes because they love you, because they've felt your energy. They felt it when you cried because you didn't seem to be heard or listened to. Because nobody here was getting you. I get you. I've been there, I've done it. And you're going to get up and we're going to make this right. We're going to fix this and we're going to walk right through it because it has to be fixed. We can't cover it up and we can't be non-transparent. We have to come out with the full numbers and the full figures because people need their information. They cannot do and they cannot make right choices if they don't have the right information. The leaders need to divulge all information. They cannot hide anything because the people aren't going to keep trusting you if all you do is hide and lie. We must divulge the information. And then it goes, and some of the people aren't going to get tested because they're just too fearful. Some of the people have moved, but we have to get the information out there. Anybody that's dealing with this cult and these people and show pictures, because sometimes they might use alias names. But if you show the pictures, at least they can say, I was at a party with that person and, they do rituals. They do rituals and stuff to have more power. They're all illusions, people. These are all illusions. It's all illusions. The only truth is what I teach. Everything else is illusions. It's all illusions. And you needed to know it so that you can choose who you want to be. Ascension is a very sacred journey. It's about the reharmonization. It's about the recombination of you back with Source. All of your soul fragments, all of your shadow, all of your divine feminine masculine, and coming into oneness. It's a very sacred, ancient process of self-actualization. Look it up, do your research. Self-actualization, self-enlightenment. It is the light body activation. It is your Merkaba activation. It is the Metatronic light activation. It is your Christ consciousness as unity consciousness. We must know all of these things to ascend. We must know all of these things to be higher consciousness, higher intelligent people, so that we can have better healing. We can have better psychologists that understand multidimensional healing. Because prescribing these people synthetic drugs isn't going to do it. It's not going to heal these people. You must heal them vibrational. There must be more vibrational healers. Vibrational healers step forward and get busy. Energy healers, energy workers, get busy. Get your initiations, get your full initiations through Lord Sananda, through your mother, father, and through your higher self. You must have initiations through these portals because you must know how to heal the psyche. This is where healing is at, people. We must advance our education. We must advance our knowledge and wisdom because then people will be walking forward. They're just simple things we can do every day. And then we can just avoid all of these things. You know it's there. You know the darkness is there. And just go visit your shadow and heal your shadow and alchemize your shadow. It's very fine. This mess, it was absolutely unnecessary. And I said it right from the beginning. Go look at my video. I said it right from the beginning. This is 100% unnecessary. I said that. I said it. And I also said thousands of emails to my lawyer. I said it as well. Why do you think God had me vlog it? Because it's only one cult from many that think that doing rituals and conjuring is going to give you power. And why do you think the industry is going through a death cycle? It has to. Because that's not how you get power and that's not how you become rich and famous. It's not how you become anything. No, it's just become low sense of self. You don't need any of it. You don't need any of it. I didn't have any of it. Look where I am. Look who I am. I'm rich in abundance and nobody can afford me. I'd rather be homeless than be somebody that sells themselves out for some kind of deity and for some kind of sex ritual where everybody gets disease. No, you got wrong beliefs there. Totally wrong beliefs. Just go work on yourself and love yourself and start there. And then you're going to find out what you're truly really good at and what you really want to passionately express. Because sometimes what you think you're here for, you're not really here for. You're here for something else. And then that something else really becomes your true passion. But you're not going to know that unless you're getting out of the box. As I said, go to the coffee shop and get there, because you're going to meet and God's going to bring these people and these beautiful energies in, and they're going to weave people to you for the beautiful reasons that you get to experience what I experienced yesterday. And the day before, where I have just people dropping on my thing and I get activated because they're there in front of me and God says, we're going to send you somebody to activate one of your gifts. And I got activated yesterday. So now we have 15 minutes. So just open up your Divine Sacred Light portal. And I want to do any channeling if anything doesn't come through, because I did activate some of my gifts yesterday. Activation, you always need, activating of your gifts is always an action, right? So you got to activate. So you actually got to practice. So find people that you can practice. So take a deep breath and ground to the spiritual grids. Ground, 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 ground. Feel your feet going into the sands and soils. Take a deep full body breath, and it's pure crystalline white light. Pure crystalline white light, bathing and cleansing all of your cells, bathing and cleansing your chakras, bathing and cleansing all that you are. Release any worry, release any fear. You know what you're doing, you know who you are. Release any fear, release any worry, release all fears, you know who you are. Mantras are so powerful, dear lighted ones. Use them every day. I release all fears. I am the spark of God. That is all that I need. I release all fears. I am the spark of God. That is all that I need. I release all fears. I am the spark of God. It is all that I need. And take a deep breath. Your chakras are aligned. And just hold your heart space open. You can hold your palms up to receive any love and light as your teams heal you and bathe you with crystalline light in the violet flame. And think of soft and loving things at your heart space. Think of yourself being on this beautiful bed of fresh linens, and you're being healed. You're being bathed in love. It's okay for you to love. It's okay for you to feel love. It's okay for you to accept love. And take a deep breath and say, I accept love. I accept healing today. You accept healing today. Love. And the angels are surrounding you and protecting you. Any darker energies are sent away. Any dark energies are sent away. Any deities or thought forms are sent away. You're being bathed by the violet flame. You're being brought back into godliness by just your intention. I am light, I am light, I am light. Feel your body being bathed with light. I am love, I am love, I am love. I am child of God, child of life, eternal life, eternal light. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am light. I am love. I am love. I am light. I am bathed with light. I am bathed with light. I am light. I am light. Take a deep breath. And in a slow mantra, mantra Imka, 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 Imka. And say it with love. It means I am balanced, I am balanced, I am balanced. And the universal energies come from all over to rebalance you. Say it with love one more time. Imka, Imka, Imka. Feel love. Imka, Imka. Feel it in your body. I am love. I am balanced. I am balanced. I am light. Visualize your DNA getting bathed in light. I am light, I am light, I am light. I am bathed in light, I am bathed in light, I am light. All that you've done in this last 5 minutes has just been purely you and Source, with intention, direction, and focus. All you need is light within, all you need is you. Source is all things, and when you build a relationship and a connection with Source, all is you. Ask Source back into your life. I call you back into my life, Source, through thought, word, and deed, and all that I do and all that I am. Please be with me in the inhale and the exhale, Holy Source Creator. Take a deep breath. I call in Source Creator. I activate myself as Source Creator. I am the spark of Source. All that it is as I need, I am. I am the spark of Source. It is all that I need, I am. I am balanced and I am aligned. I am love. Say one more time. I am balanced, I am aligned, I am love. I am balanced, I am aligned, I am love. I'm in charge of my health, I'm in charge of my life. I am love, the spark of God. I am love, I am love, I am love. I am one with all creation, I'm one with all life. One with all creation, one with all life. I am one, I am one, I am one, I am one. You see how much power that builds. And that is light and love. But you would never harm anything because it's you. It's all you, it's God. And doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound fun to explore who you are in love again? To be love, to emit love, to radiate love, to sing love, to talk love, to speak love, to create poetry and books and posings and intelligence on love. Clothes that are made with love, food that's made with love, drinks that are made with love, everything's made with love. I am love. The light of creation, I am love. I am love. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Love to humanity, love, love is love. Taya mai dedication and a kataka. Taya mamakataka. Ashenanaka. Taita malkadiki to ama. Ashenanaka. Take a deep breath. Feel the alignment and the pure crystalline light move right through your divine sacred heart. And offer yourself in unity and oneness, solidarity of being love and compassion and kindness. And speak on behalf of the greater good always. You never have to protest, you never have to fight. Speak on behalf of what is truth and God will lift you. I am truth, God will lift me. I am truth, God will lift me. I am cleansed and I am cleared, amen. I am cleansed, I am clear, amen. I'm cleansed, I am cleared, amen. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit, I love you. I love you, Holy Spirit, I love you. Is there any questions or any comments that anybody would like to make in the last few minutes? I can hear you telepathically if you want to send a message. I love you too. That feels really good. So many goosebumples. Goosebumples are a good sign. Unless you're out somewhere and you shouldn't be somewhere out. Then you'll get goosebumpers for like, hey, let's get out of here. Anybody wants to send a telepathic messages, sessions and donations, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. Until I get all of my ID records and stuff like that. I still have to go by for money and for banking and for, the all of the legal stuff is still in Joanna L. Ross. And then once I get all of the monies in, then I'll be changing it over to Celeste. So everything has to be made up to Joanna L. Ross for now. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Just all you got to do is just flow with life, people. You don't have to ever force people into your story. If they're meant to be there, they're going to be there, right? And if you want someone to be in your life and you want to be in their life, then just do the energy work and God's going to pair you. God knows if there's love in your heart for somebody, God knows that God will want to put you that person because there's love in your heart, right? That's how creation goes. That's why you don't have to ever do magic and forcible things. If forcible things is absolutely because you're fearful that you're not going to get your way. Well, maybe you're not meant to get your way. You got to surrender to that too. because maybe your higher learning is never to get your way, because you got to go through a lot of healing first, right? You shouldn't be forcing your way. You shouldn't be forcing people to be with you. You shouldn't be forcing anybody to be in your story, because they need to move on. You can't keep them attached with you, right? Understand that if you're meant to be with somebody, God's going to make sure that you're meant to be with that person. You're going to have the work done that you're going to have done so that you can be the best person for them and they can be the best person for you. And that's really the natural order. Let God and let Spirit do its work. All you have to do is send the intention. I'm ready to meet a soulmate. So let me just keep working on me and just keep working on me. And that's the only, you should never go to anybody for a love reading. Like, stop the love readings. It's not necessary. You should just be going with God for your love readings. God knows everybody inside and out and their DNA, where they're going, what their plans and plots are. God knows what they're ready for. God knows if they're going to go through healing or not. God knows everything, right? Right? So just like surrender everything to God. Your teams are looking after you. This is what your teams are there for. Your teams are there to set you up with good experiences. Your teams are set you up with those people that will help you learn and expand. That's what your teams are for. You're here to expand. You're here to get out of your box and be a higher version of you. We're here to evolve people. The highest thing on humanity right now is evolution. Everything is evolution. Everything right now is about evolution. And how do we evolve? We got to heal our soul fragments. We got to understand our soul fragments. We got to create new teachings, new healings, new learnings, new education systems, new medical systems. All of these things we need to start from the energy first. And these are truths. These are absolute truths, people. We are quantum beings. We affect all that is. We affect all creation. And when we choose, that one little change inside changes all creation. When you choose light, when you choose intention, even your affirmations affect your DNA. The stress levels affect your DNA. We all know this. So, PayPal.me, PayPal.me, PayPal.me. Scene. I do that with a little girl. She comes and visits me. She's such a little theater. She's a little theater. And I was off screen there for a second, picking up my paper. And we have great fun. She's a beautiful little child, and she's going to be on stage one day. I just know it. So I'm practicing with her. I used to have a theater company business. I used to teach children how to come out of their shell and how to heal through theater. And so it was lots of fun. So I was teaching her some of these things about, acting and stuff. She's just a normal, she has these beautiful ideas and writes these beautiful stories. And so we were practicing being theater. Jazz hands. So much fun. So play today, dear lighted ones. Play, 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 play. You can heal yourself by playing and singing and chanting love. Chant love. If you're going to chant love, right? Right? I love you all. I love you all. Donations, I would very greatly appreciate it. Anybody that's sending any money from the past, it needs to go to my bank. I don't do pop-ups. I won't do pop-ups. If you want to see me and book a session with me, book a session. You still have to pay. My time and energy is important. I'm not going to be giving myself and my energy away for free anymore. If you want to talk to me, book a session. $250 US for 90 minutes, and then I call you and I send you a link of the video session. You are only videoed with me. Nobody else does my sessions. Nobody else does what I do. Right, and then we tap into your guides and your teams, and we get you tapped into your soul's blueprint, and we start working on what the energy blocks are. We move some energy, and then you do some homework. And then from there on, you just start working with your daily ascension path work. It's just like brushing your teeth. Just do it every day. And really a good energy, doing your energy path work every day is anywhere from 1 hour to 90 minutes. And that's every morning. Before anything gets going in your house, get up and do your path work. And that should be your highest relationship building with Source. No, you don't talk to nobody till you talk to Source, right? You don't talk to anybody till you talk to God, right? It's you and God. And God's going to lift you, and God's going to say, yeah, God is like a marriage. Some days you're going to have good days, and some days you're going to have transgression days. I have them all the time. Why did we have to do that? I'm the queen of transgressions, and then I get up and I do it. Because at some point you just get tired. It's like, I can't do this anymore. You're going to have to I want backup. Where's my team? I mean, how many times do you think I can do this? Right? So, anyways, I'm just being cheeky. Put me in, coach. Where's my team? Where's my backup? I'll go in for sure. I'm always the first one in. Let's go! That's what God knows about me. I don't sit down. No, let's go. Where's your boots? Get your boots on! We're going in the field. Too funny. I'm one of God's best warriors. Love you, each and every one of you, dear darling ones. I love you, darlings. I love my eye. I did my eyes really nice today. Don't you like my eyes? The way my eyes? Joanna L. Ross. I love my clients. I love you. I love you. I love you. You know who you are. I love you.